Hey love, I'm Gena. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach who helps women find relief from food obsession, body shame, and perfectionism so they can feel calm, confident, and strong without obsession. If you're exhausted from overthinking food, afraid of weight gain, or stuck trying to do everything right but still never feeling enough, you're in the right place. I know this terrain deeply. I've lived through restriction, treatment, binging, rebuilding, and the identity loss that comes with letting go of control. And now I help women stop punishing themselves, rebuild trust with their bodies, and create strength and health that actually feels sustainable. This is a space where healing and body goals get to coexist, where fitness doesn't cost you your peace, and where you don't have to do this alone. Take a breath. You're safe here. This is the Fit Without Obsession podcast. I feel like this is such an important episode to record because, believe me, I'm a planner. I love to plan since I was a kid. And I think for a long time with my relationship with food, when things were not going how I wanted or going how I expected, or I just felt lost and stuck, I always just kept searching for the next best thing, the next best plan to follow, the answer to all of my prayers, right? And I thought that that was in finding a different structure, finding a different method, right? And you probably already have a plan that you've been following, or like 10 realistically that you've been following through. Like, you know what to eat, you can follow it, you've proven that you can, but you still end up thinking about food all day, and your brain feels so loud, busy, and consumed all of the time. So you keep trying to fix what you're doing instead of actually looking at what is happening in your head. And this is really the real root of the problem. It's not that you don't have the perfect plan. It's not that you're not executing the right things. Like, you're physically doing the right things. This is actually a mental thing that we need to start talking about, right? Like, the real problem here is the food noise that you're struggling with. You're having constant thoughts about food. You're planning and calculating and negotiating. And you probably are kind of stuck in this place too of having on track and like off track thinking, where you feel like if you didn't follow the plan that you had set out to yourself, like, you are a complete utter failure. You have to start over from square one. There is nothing good going on in your day. Or you might be stuck too, like, just literally ruminating on what you ate, replaying it, questioning it, trying to make up for it, thinking about your next meal, just this constant just battle in your head. I mean, I'm getting exhausted talking about it because I feel like most of my life, honestly, like, I just had all of this loud noise and just the volume just cranked up to the max when it came to food in my body. And you can really, honestly, you could be doing well, but also at the same point still feel mentally exhausted. Even when nothing is wrong, like, your brain is still stuck in this place of working overtime, right? So this is why plans aren't fixing it, because plans tell you what to eat. They don't tell you and actually teach you how to think about food, how to react to food, how to have a relationship with food, right? And they also don't help in the moments that things aren't perfect. And, spoiler, but most of life is not going to be perfect. So if you have this like structured plan of like, okay, you're supposed to hit X amount of calories, these perfect foods, hit these workouts, like, get 8 hours of sleep, show up and get 15,000 steps a day, whatever it is, right? Like, that's realistically, like, your life is going to get in the way. And also, like, when we put that much pressure on following the plan perfectly, that is what is creating more of the food noise, more of the distrust with food, more of the confusion, more of the noise. And really, like, a plan can guide your actions, but it's not going to quiet your brain. So again, this is not a mental problem. This is really a physical solution mismatch at this point. So let's talk about the actual loop that you're stuck into. And this is a lot deeper than just the binge restrict cycle. Like, it's deeper than that when it comes to navigating food noise, right? Because right now you are stuck in a place that you're trying to be good, you're trying to be perfect. Hello, fellow perfectionists out there. And then you're mentally restricting or controlling. It doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you're only eating like 1,200 calories or you're skipping lunch. Like, even just like thinking about trying to cut back a little bit with food, or thinking about how you should have a little bit less, or thinking about how you maybe need to just run a couple extra miles this week to like make up for the food you had, right? Like, that you're still controlling. So it doesn't have to look like this like version of under eating that I think sometimes we go to when we imagine, right? So we get stuck there, then we start to think about food more, then we eventually react. And that could look like a couple different things, right? Like that could look like you say screw it and you just don't want to follow the plan at all and you could just kind of fully fall off because you weren't perfect, right? Could also look like overeating, like you purposefully, almost in a sense, like self-sabotage because you are, for one, hungry, but also for two, you're like, you know what? I just want to have this cake right now because I'm just tired of following this plan and I am just going to like overindulge right now and that's fine, right? And then what happens after that is we have this guilt because we didn't follow our plan perfectly. We feel like it means something about us, like we suck, we're a failure. And then we immediately go to wanting to start over, right? And it doesn't always look like, hey, I'm going to start my diet fresh on Monday. It looks like we have all of this kind of implode. You go back to the drawing board, you look for another plan, you do more research on Instagram, you talk to ChatGPT, whatever it is, right? You try to like recreate and fix everything again because you just want to find that other perfect plan. But the thing is that perfect plan is what actually set you up to be there, right? And the cycle is not just your behavior, it's really like your thinking, right? Like so much of what I just talked about, like that's happening in your head, right? And, you know, the uncomfortable truth that you probably don't want to hear right now, and like, again, why your plan is kind of not working for you is that you don't trust yourself with food. So right now you're in a place where you're relying on having some sort of structure to feel safe. And the hard part of that is the structure then becomes rigid. And that is what is keeping you from actually hitting your goals, from feeling good with food, from feeling good in your body, from feeling confident, right? Because the more that we feel disconnected with food, the more we want to control, the more we tighten control. And then it's just a spiral where you feel like you can't escape it, right? And none of this points to you lacking discipline. You're actually very disciplined for following through and having all of this, you know, planning and energy and effort put in. But you're relying on it way too much. You're relying on discipline too much. We can't navigate only from a place of being harsh and structured and not having any nuance around our plan, right? Like you feel in control until you can't follow your plan perfectly. And that is why this plan is not working for you. That's why no plan, honestly, it's gonna work for you. Like you don't need another plan. That is the whole thing that I want to get across in this podcast episode is that it's really how you respond when things aren't perfect that needs to get addressed, right? We need to work through that. Like, why are you blowing up when you're not perfect? I think I mentioned this before, but I actually in college, I did a whole research paper in my first year in the honors college on how I felt like perfectionism could be deemed as a mental illness. It was actually so interesting. And, you know, I'm not going to say that it's going to be actually, you know, published research if we're going to all of a sudden like say that perfectionism is mental illness. I actually think that there's really some positive parts of perfectionism. But really what my paper highlighted was how it can really turn negatively very fast when we are not leveraging it to help us, when we are holding ourselves to too high of a standard, right? So what you're really missing again is we need to stay in the moment, stay in the day, stay in the uncomfortableness when you do feel like you messed up instead of feeling like you have to start over. Like there is no starting over, right? You just need to learn how to react and be able to actually move through those moments instead of feeling like it has to be this harsh stop. Also, you need to remove the all or nothing thinking, right? And I know that term has been thrown out there a lot online. You probably have heard it a million bajillion times, but have you actually fixed it? Like, are you just reading through all these posts online or things that you've heard about how you need to remove the all or nothing thinking and you're like, yeah, I've heard that a million times. Well, are we stuck there, right? There's a reason that a lot of people talk about it because it's literally a way of thinking that is keeping you from actually feeling good with food in your body. Like, I'm sorry, but like if you are stuck in all or nothing thinking, you're never going to feel good. You're never going to feel good enough with yourself. You're never going to feel like you've accomplished everything because we can't live life in extremes. Like the way that the world is designed, it's just not feasible, right? At least in a way where you feel positively. Obviously you could do it. It's just not fun. You know that part. And also too, like, another thing that we really need to do and what's missing is that, like, we need to learn to self-regulate instead of over control. And I know that you feel like you don't want to do all this woo-woo stuff, right? Or like take the time out of your day to breathe, like, and actually ground yourself before eating. Like, I know that that seems so silly in a sense. Like you're doing so many more hard things, right? With your plan, with your workouts, with the way that you're structuring food. It's like just actually sitting and resting and being calm for a couple of minutes, doing mindfulness exercises. Like that is something you're skipping because it doesn't seem relevant. It doesn't seem like it's actually going to move the needle forward. But guess what? That's actually the missing layer. That's actually the missing piece. It's probably the most important thing that you could do throughout your day right now if you're stuck, right, with food noise. It is those activities and actually not your workouts, not what you're putting in your mouth. And the thing is when this all clicks, right, when you actually learn to be imperfect, when you learn to be in the gray zone instead of in black and white thinking, when you learn how to actually take care of yourself and regain body trust, like, you're going to actually find that food gets quieter. You're going to have less mental negotiation. You're going to have more consistency without forcing it. And you're going to stop starting over, which then in turn is going to actually allow you to live your life to the fullest, to actually hit your workout goals, to actually hit your goals with food, to actually be confident, be in the body that you love and adore, and actually are so grateful for. And it actually is going to just come easier, right? Because you can hear those things that you're not going to be white knuckling it anymore, right? And you can still care about your body when we get to this point, but it doesn't control your brain anymore, right? Like that's the exciting part. And I just want to close today with reminding you that this is not a willpower issue. This is not that you're not trying hard enough or you haven't found the right plan. Like again, it's not about the plan. You can do more research if you want, but I'm trying to save you that time and energy and tell you it's actually with the self-regulation. That's what we need to do. We need to quiet the food noise, right? Because you've been trying to solve a mental problem with a physical solution, and that's what we're going to stop today. You really don't need a better plan. You just need to create a quieter brain. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode made you feel seen, understood, or a little less alone, make sure you're following so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you feel called to share, you can tag me on Instagram at @thefitbean_. I love connecting with you there. If you're ready for deeper support, whether that's calming food obsession, rebuilding trust with your body, or getting stronger without slipping back into old patterns, you'll find ways to work with me linked in the show notes. And remember, you are not broken. You are not behind. And you don't need to earn your worth through control. You can want peace and strength. You can heal and build a body you feel at home in. I'm rooting for you always. Talk soon.